Yo, what's up? We're back again, and today we got an artist that goes by the name Brax. How you doing today, man?
Yo, I'm Brax. Oh, I'm pretty good, pretty good. Just getting ready for California next week, so that's dope.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you're performing out in California.
Yeah, we've been doing shows around the South. I'm from New Orleans, so we've only done a handful of shows down here, but we've been doing shows around the South, and then this is my second time going to Cali.
Okay, so how did you first get into performing live?
I've been recording for like 4 years, but I'm only 17, and we got into it actually with California before New Orleans. It sounds stupid, but down here, I can't really perform at a lot of bars and shit because
Hmm.
my audience and there's different laws here than other states. So we did a show down here, which kind of got me into the feel of it, and then we did California, and then we kept going around the South right now, which is what we're doing right now. So it's kind of how everything fell into place. But I've
Yeah.
only been performing for maybe 6, 8 months.
So you're allowed in excuse me in LA. You're allowed to perform in bars, but in New Orleans is like the drinking laws.
Um, yeah, it's Napoleonic laws because like you can walk around with alcohol out here, we can in other states. But the Napoleonic laws are like if you're not 18, you can't go in a bar. So we have to have an 18 plus or 21 plus age limit for most of the shows.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of problems with me getting in as a like work wise because it's considered a work like a gig, so it's considered a job.
Hmm.
But it's more the sense of like I'm younger and I have a fan base that's under 21 for the most part.
Yeah, makes
So,
sense.
like it just wouldn't work out.
So you find there's a lot of division within your fan base because you're obviously like you're making moves in LA and then you're making moves in New Orleans. So is it like you find there's like kind of a contention there in your fan base?
I find it's definitely because I talk so much about mental health. There's definitely the same concept of like, but everybody's different. Like I've done shows in LA, and the whole LA experience is completely different from when we do shows in Florida, Alabama, New Orleans, and we're finna go to Texas in June. So I'm excited for that. But it's a whole different like it's different type of people. It's more in my experience down south. This is where I bring fake blood out to Cali, or I'm planning to for the next show. But down south, everywhere it's more of a party and it's more of an underground, like very punkish and it's very like grimy. So it's more of a party versus in California, it's kind of more like experience.
Hmm. So when you go out there, you keep saying we. So are you part of like a rap group, or is it more like the production company that you go with, or who are you referring to?
Just well, DMK is what powers me. Like I do everything myself though. But like my company's called DMK, which is behind Brax and all like my clothes and stuff is all DMK. So that's the company I run. But it's mostly just like with my friends that are out there or with the people I'm performing with.
Hmm. So you said you're 17. So is performing live, or you find that's conflicting with your schooling, or are you even in school now?
No, I'm still in high school. I
Hmm.
actually graduated a year early, so I only did 3 years, and I'm graduated next week. And then from graduation, like 2 days after, I hop on a plane to go to Cali for the May 12th show.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so you're like pretty ahead in high school, even with being able to do music all at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when did you? Who was your first inspiration to really get into the type of music that you make, or even early life? Who did you listen to musically?
Early life, I wouldn't say I had a real music inspiration. Like I had my grandpa, which was like the only person I knew that did anything musically for the most part. I mean, I have uncles that do it, but like that's the first person that would sit down with a guitar and just kind of fiddle with or do anything. And then I lost him, and I had a bunch of shit happen to me just all at once. And I think that's really what got me into it
Hmm.
because um I don't really know. I'd want to say Mac Miller and Kurt. Definitely my grandpa though. I know for anything, it's my grandpa that like really got me into it. Even if he didn't write music, it was more the aspect of like seeing music be played like an emotion, kind of. And then it kind of went from there. But music wise, definitely Suicide Boys, Kurt Cobain, Mac Miller. I like the Beatles a lot. I like the Doors. I kind of listen to everything. I'm in a little '70s rock stage right now, so I like Jefferson Airplane, Pink Floyd, the Doors, shit like that. But for my music, definitely Lil Peep, Mac Miller, Suicide Boys, Kurt, and yeah, just kind of mix of everything really.
Yeah. So are you able to pull all those influences together to create your music, or would you, who would you most acquainted with? Even though I know artists don't like to compare their music to others.
If I had to compare it, and I really had to like compare it and put it into a word, it'd be like a mix between Young Lean, Mac Miller, and like Suicide Boys, or maybe Bones.
Okay.
Stuff.
Yeah. So you said you kind of delve into like darker tones in your music. Is it like, are you more focused on the kind of vibe and the pulling in like the musical sounds, or is it like, do you really say life stories from your own life, or?
For me, I see music as a journal, and so throughout the years, like through the different projects I've made, you can see where I am and what mind state I'm in. I've dealt a lot with like mental health and drugs, and like just a lot of people deal with it. It's getting common in the youth, I guess. I mean, I know a lot of people that are kind of dealing with similar things, but I just had troubled childhood. I guess I went through a lot, and it came upon me mentally. So it's really what got me into music. And I mean, tried killing myself, and you could see I have songs like 504 Ultra is a literal suicide note that
Hmm.
like I just fucked up when I tried killing myself. It sounds horrible, but like it's true. And everything, like every project and every single, it's a journal entry, I guess, is the way you could see it.
Yeah. Do you find the deeper that you get into like those darker tones, the more like numbers and the more like your fan base really fucks with it, or do they kind of listen to everything you put out?
Um, I definitely think there's a lot because I see it like this. People connect with emotion, and so when you are going through a darker time, I think it is a lot more because it's a lot more realer. And like, I'll never be out of depression, but I'll have times where I get better, and then I'll have times where I go back down the rabbit hole. Then
Hmm.
it's like you want to connect. It's a mutual connection, and that's what makes it so special, in my opinion. And that's what I think makes it so special with artists like Mac and Little Peep, especially how you saw Mac kind of grow up through his music, and you just saw
Hmm.
it change.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what makes it the connection is like you watch somebody grow up and you watch them change year or project by project.
Yeah. So do you find it's a struggle to, if you're not always feeling down, to kind of sit down and make that type of music, or like there's expectations being put upon you to really perform that type of style, or are you more like change it up?
I like to change it up. I like to do alternative rock and stuff, but for the most part, I mean, I've never really came out of it, if that makes sense. Like I'll definitely say I've gotten better than like in the past when I was like on pills and shit, but I've gotten better, but I definitely haven't came out of it.
Hmm.
So I haven't really experienced the writer's block of like just being able to be like I'm too stable to write. I always have something to write about.
Yeah. You think,
It's
go ahead.
oh, my bad, but it's also a me versus me because at least in my mental health, a lot of it's kind of just me versus me. So it's one of those things that's like I try to get out of it, and I'm trying, and I'm actually like I feel like I'm getting better, but at the same time, I have so much going on. So it's like
Yeah. So do you have any plans to kind of move to LA full time and kind of try to make it work there?
I don't know because I really like being down here. I like Florida. I like the Southern and Gulf Coast scene as a whole. I love it out here, but I do like doing shows out in LA, and I'd like to break out, go north a little bit, experiment over there. So it's just kind of depending. After I know I'm doing college, so after college, it's kind of like that maybe threshold of like depending where I want to go and depending what scene I really want to go to or towards more. If I want to enter the West and go get up there,
Hmm.
yeah. But if I want to stay down here and do my own thing down here, because there's not a lot down here for cloud rap, or at least I experienced in New Orleans. Suicide Boys are like the big cloud rap act, and other than that, there's nothing. And so that's where we're trying to come in and build a scene ourselves.
Yeah, because New Orleans is more like NBA Young Boy, Little Wayne. Like, is that what's popular over there?
Um, no, there's no rap scene. At least live performance wise down here, there's no rap scene. It's all punk and metal and stuff. And
Hmm.
like it's awesome, but it's just not cloud rap. It's not what I'm doing. It's not what we're doing, so we want to make something for ourselves.
Yeah. So even if there are rap acts that come out of New Orleans, you don't often see them like return to actually play from where they come from.
I mean G5. I mean Suicide Boys do, but other than that, I mean they come for like Jazz Fest and stuff, but you don't see a lot of bunch of smaller shows. There's always Wheezy Fest and stuff like that, but there's not really a underground scene.
Hmm. How do you feel about like the new wave of the more like plug, you know, all those like? Do you find that you don't like where the underground's heading, or trying to bring it back to the more
Um,
funk?
are you talking about plug like? Are you talking about laser dim type plug? Or are you talking
Yeah,
about net?
either like all the new
Um,
guys like that.
yeah. I mean, I fuck with it kinda. I'm still young, so like I understand. I fuck with it. I like jerk. I don't do it, but I'm also very like I like to focus on emotions. Like everything for me is a journal entry and shit. So my stuff comes from more of an emotional standpoint. But I do fuck with like some of the Laser Gym songs. I don't like all Laser Gym songs, but like I like a handful of them. I mean, music's music. If it's what people are rocking with, I'm not gonna tell them no. Who am I to be like your music tastes shit and mine's better?
Yeah, but you, well, I guess you said there wasn't ever a super big scene for the type of music you're producing, but do you ever think that like that type of like more downtrodden like would you say it's like funk or not really like what Suicide
I'd
Boys do?
say cloud rap. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I.
Do you think that will ever be able to kind of rise back to prominence, or are you kind of happy with it being a little bit more not mainstream?
Um, no, I mean, I think it will sooner or later because I don't know. It's a very emotional, like the music itself is very emotional, and I think we're gonna go. I think it's definitely gonna do something sooner. There's more. There's scenes out in LA and stuff for it. Just down south, there's not really a scene for it, and that's what we're trying to do is build a scene down south where we are.
Hmm.
Because there's a bunch of cloud rap acts that come from the south, like Atlanta and all that. But to connect all the scenes into one and have a southern scene is at least what I want to do.
Yeah. So that's kind of the end goal. Like if your wildest dream with music would just to be able to tour full time and really like be able to produce in that way.
Um, no, my music's kind of my life. I dedicated. I had a lot go on, and it saved my life. And at the same time, it's really the only way I live, and it's the only thing I know. So I mean, the end goal with music is really just death, because I don't really plan on stopping. Does that make sense? Like, there's no true end goal. It's just kind of I see it as an art. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But I more so meant like, because some people I talk to on these, they're like, man, if somebody wanted to sign me today, I would be on that. Some people are like, I would never be signed. Like, is that kind of, have you thought about that? Like, if somebody offered you a record deal?
Yeah, I have, but I don't really know because I'm not at that point yet. I haven't had anybody ask me. It just depends on the like actual terms of it. But I mean, I'd sign if it was worth it, but I'm in it more for the art than the money.
Yeah. And especially
Yeah.
since
I want
there's, oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
I want to I don't know, I didn't have a purpose and like it gave me a purpose and without it I have no purpose. So it's like I rather live this way. I want to live even if I'm not making a fuck ton of money. I don't really care if I'm rich. I don't care how much money I have. I just want to do what I want and I want to enjoy my life. So I'm
Yeah.
fine with being poor and being able to be like, yeah, I'm poor. I don't got shit, but I traveled the whole world doing what I love. Or not the whole world, but you know what I mean. I traveled and I did what I loved till I
Yeah.
died. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah. You've been farther than me probably just being in like LA and all over the country. So that's pretty dope. But have you been able to kind of make any musical connections or met like new friends through making music, or do you find like people in your high school are kind of like they don't get it or they're super on it?
For me at least, because I'm 17, so everybody I've performed with is a lot older than me. So the big thing, I'm from a small town, and I'm probably one of the only people. It's like one or two people that make music, but I'm the only person really taking it serious. Other than I got a homie named Deuce, shout out Deuce. But other than that, yeah, I make a lot of friends through music and stuff, and I make a lot of connections. I really like it. I all my friends in LA. We did the first show with my homie Kenji. I've been knowing them for like 4 years before, just because of the internet.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely. And I mean, Broke Florida Boys and Bad for Business and all of them. I met them all when I went to Florida, and we did that show together. So I'm definitely meeting people, and there's definitely a bond when it comes to music.
Hmm. Yeah. And I don't want you to give away like all your like sauce and everything, but you mentioned a company before, so they kind of backed you, or you really helped in the creation of that company, or
No, it's just the one. I'm pretty much a one man army, but like when I release all my music videos and stuff, I don't want to just say Brax or like I just don't want everything to be Brax. So DMK is kind of my company.
hmm.
I own the company and I made it. So DMK, like all the clothes and all the flyers and DMK presents, I do the booking through it. So it's just kind of my like the company on top of Brax that produces all like the merchandise and books the shows.
Damn.
Something that really helped build the scene, which is what I'm kind of looking forwards with it. Is I want to learn because I book my own shows, but I want to get be able to book for other people. So
Hmm.
even if I'm not performing, I can still help build the scene.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Like trying to build like infrastructure, basically, if I said that
Yeah,
right. And
yeah.
I see you got like the poster behind you, so you printed that off all like you create the posters and the merchandise and everything.
No, I made a few of these. If you want to see them, I got. This is from that one's from LA.
Hmm.
This is the first show I ever did, and then that was a house show we did. I don't know if you could see it. Over here I got a bunch of Mac posters, and I got a. This was a record show we did,
Yeah.
but yeah, we just I don't make all of them. I've made a few of them, but it's just about really seeing who's able to help. You just ask for help, and I mean most people, if you're like, hey, we're trying to really do something here, most people aren't going to turn it down because being part of something that's a lot bigger than just bullshit.
You would, yeah, you would. That's interesting you say that because you're probably like growing your buzz now. Have you got to that level where you find it's like people who weren't messing with you before are now like all of a sudden very interested in the
Um,
movement?
but I think it's for two reasons. I'm a very like I say to myself, I'm a very quiet person. If on stage I'm not a quiet person, but other than that, like to myself, I stay to myself, and I stay to my friends that help me record and create what I want to create, the art I want to create. Because I have friends that are down to do videography and friends that are photographers. So for the most part, I stay to myself, and I stay to like my small little group of friends, and then the people I know outside of state. But at the same time, because they're outside state, I don't have to get hang out with them every day. So it's
Hmm.
like, for the most part, not really. I mean, maybe once or twice, but nothing I'm like stupid mad about. I wouldn't be mad over it,
No.
but not really.
Yeah, because like if you're hanging out with those people, or at least like you know them in real life, I feel like there's more of a connection there.
Yeah.
It's like as opposed to the internet, it's like I can just screw this person over and then never have to see them again. Where if they're working with you every day, they're probably like. But it's cool that you got people that are actually invested in your movement and they're okay with just being a part of the bigger thing and not being like I got to be the main character, I got to be the main star. So that's like that's pretty rare, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's a lot because none of them are really like focusing towards the music. It's just because we're all in high school and it's like there's nothing better to do. So why not learn videography or photography? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
That's a
Because
good
like
point.
they all have their own plans in college. And I mean, I respect it and I completely understand having your whole like your own life because everybody has their own life and they should. So I completely understand it, but it's just because we're in high school. I think that's really why we all came together so fast.
Yeah, makes sense. So you think that eventually people are going to kind of go off in their other directions, but you kind of made peace with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like even I plan on moving for college, and I mean all my friends plan on moving for college. So I think it's definitely going to be a change. But I also have friends in other states, so it just wherever I move to college, it's just really about getting there, finding people, and finding my niche of people, I guess.
Yeah, definitely sounds like you're on like how do you explain it? Like crossroads where you're about to like pivot, and there's going to be like a whole new era of your career from what you're saying. Like once you move out there.
Yeah.
So are you got are you trying to drop like one more project before you go out to LA and you graduate to kind of like encapsulate the time frame, or is it like you're working on something currently?
Really want to get into more of the visual arts, Brax. I want to get more of a. I really was practicing on live performance, and after Angels Weep on Carrollton and 1-800 Save Me, I'm gonna do another single or maybe two more, and then I want to drop a project. But I really want it to be something that's like genuine. I need it to be the way I want it to be.
Hmm.
As in, I want it to be an album, but I also want it to have visuals, and I want to have these visuals to reflect like what got into it, like what came, because I've had songs like All My Life I Wanted to Be Somebody from Angels Weep on Carrollton. That whole song was made on fucking Xanax, and like there I want it to visually, even though audibly, because audibly it's represented because it's in my voice and shit and it's my mind state, but visually I want to capture the same emotions I try to capture audibly.
Yeah. So you said that you used to have like kind of drug problems, but now not so much. Did that kind of hurt your musical process? Do you find like you're more productive when you're on substances, or
um I work a lot in music, so I mean I think there's times where drugs can make your music more emotional or more, how do I put this, more emotional or more like, I don't even know how to put this, different sounding, but it's more of like a variable into it. You can definitely, I still make songs sober and it's fine. I mean, I still, I smoke weed and I drink. I just quit doing pills. And I mean, I'm better now, but
yeah,
I still, yeah. So it's like, but I mean, definitely, I think substance and music is definitely a variable out of it, but it doesn't make everything out of it.
yeah, makes sense. So it's like it's never been the thing that you've never had to be like I need to be on a Xan to like record music. It's always just kind of
Yeah,
been
no,
like
it's like for my biggest problem, addiction wise, for me at least, was probably alcohol. I had a very bad problem with alcohol. I had my Halloween, or not Halloween. Fuck. It was like 2 New Years ago. So I was like 15. And I drank a fucking liter of Jack and I almost died of alcohol poisoning. But it was really bad. I used to drink a lot of fucking whiskey.
yeah, my 15. Wow, you sure you're American?
I don't know, bro. I might be Irish.
Yeah, at that point, no, that's yeah, that's the thing too that I guess a lot of people don't like really talk about though. It's like they always talking about like hard drugs and stuff, but like yeah, alcohol can definitely fuck up your life just as well as like anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a hard substance, you know. So yeah, any themes of that? Like, have you talked about that in your music, or you're like,
That
eh?
is definitely, yeah. I mean, The Drunk That Never Could is probably one of my favorite songs. At least performance wise, it's one of my favorite songs, definitely.
Mm,
But yeah, a lot of my music kind of revolves around the fact that a lot of my mental battles are me versus me currently,
mm.
and not what they used to be. But yeah, definitely there's like alcoholism, my substance abuse problems, mental health, dissociation, and just kind of, I don't know, the way I feel.
Yeah, because what do they say about life? It's like 90% of what or no, sorry, 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you handle what happens to you. Or it's like I'm probably butchering that, but your perception basically really
Yeah.
affects everything. So it's,
Mhm.
it's good to it's good to be able to recognize it though. So you're working on an album. You got a show in LA. Um, anything else planned out like in the near future?
Yeah, this summer I'm not working on an album yet because I'm planning to drop a few more singles before I really drop a project again.
Yeah.
But this summer we're doing May 12th we're going California, which is next week. May 25th is Trash Ball. We play with I Hate God, so I'm excited for that because they headline and that's a big fucking. Do you know? Do you listen to sludge,
Sludge.
like sludge metal?
No, I can't say I do, but interesting
Okay.
name for
I was
genre.
just say yeah. So it's like it's sludge metal, but they're like as big as acid metal, pretty much. So we're playing with them May 25th at Pensacola at the Handlebar. Then after that, we play. I'm trying to do another show in New Orleans in June, but we're going to Houston too. And then July we play Alabama, maybe Pensacola then, and then I know we're definitely playing California.
Yeah. Actually, I do. This is going to be the weirdest comparison, but I have heard of sludge metal once, and it's somebody took the Alvin and the Chipmunks like album and slowed it down because you know how they speed people up on it and like turned it into like a sludge metal album. So that's where I have heard of it before, but that's probably a terrible comparison to be honest with you. But
Nah, yeah, for sludge metal, it's definitely like if you really want to get into the genre, I'd say listen to Acid Bath because that's kind of the like. I'm not big on sludge metal, but like I know Acid Bath.
massive
I don't
path,
know them like that, but like I'm saying that's kind of the face of sludge metal in my opinion.
interesting. Yeah,
Between that or I hate them.
yeah, it's so interesting like how many different like sub genres you see now with like grindcore and like even trying like bedroom pop. Like it's just like they got like
Yeah,
these kind of you
and
have
then
any interest in
especially
that?
my bad, especially in the punk community, there's a bunch of like small because even like they break it off into like Lafayette thrash metal, or they'll break it off like there's so many like sub genres when you like micro genres and shit. When you get into it, it's crazy.
Yeah,
And I think that's really something that makes punk so much, or at least in my opinion, is something I want to get into, is having that like niche, not niche sound, but I think that's why there's certain like punk bands that have such a niche sound because there's such a micro genre of
yeah. And they probably can't stand like getting those constant comparisons to this or that, so they're like, okay, we really got to like stand out and even like
yeah,
because that's one thing you can say about like metal fans and like even comes down to underground rap fans. Like they're very like they gatekeep a lot with certain stuff. So it's probably like I'll just make my own shit instead of trying to get into this genre where they're gonna compare me or turn me down or you know
yeah.
yeah. All right, sweet. So any shout outs you want to give or anybody you want to?
Um, yeah, definitely shout out Bad for Business, shout out Broke Florida Boys, shit, DMK, Kenji, Zedrin, everybody that's letting me stay up there in California with them because they didn't have to buy an apartment or rent a place. So that shit's dope.
Damn, yeah, that's awesome. You're making moves with that, and everything seems to be going up. So I'll definitely be interested to definitely check in like 6 months or something, see where your head's at then if you're down for that.